This is the planet Mars, which is the fourth planet away from the Sun. And it's also known as the red planet in our solar system. It sits right next to our home planet Earth and next to the big gas giant Jupiter. Its distinct reddish-orange appearance comes from iron oxide or rust, which covers its surface, which has a very thin atmosphere. And it's about roughly half the size of Earth. And the surface in question, which in this photo released by NASA, features a cold, dry, and very rocky desert. Its average temperatures are about negative 55 degrees, which drops at around negative 130 degrees or negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And did you know about this planet? I think it supports Mars rovers, which that specific one was featured in A Galactic Good Night. And one of these rovers in particular is this one here, being the Curiosity rover, which explores the Gale crater and Mount Sharp on the planet, which was launched by NASA in November 2011, then landing on the planet in August 2012. This rover's primary mission was to determine if Mars ever possessed the right environmental conditions to support microbial life. And it is still operating today. But it's supposed to last for about 14 years. But didn't you know that there's a very tall mountain, which is the one that is featured in that little Einsteins episode where the team climbed up to get to the top. And this particular mountain is, of course, being Olympus Mons, a massive shield volcano or mountain located on Mars, and is located on Mars's western hemisphere near the Tharys volcanic plateau. Its diameter is roughly 600 kilometers or 374 miles across, and it's equivalent to the size of the state of Arizona or the country of France. And its height is towering 21.2 to 25 kilometers above the plains, and it makes it roughly 3 times taller than Mount Everest. But here is where we learn how the Einsteins encountered this mountain. Alright, so let me get this straight and take you through a quick but long recap from the first episode of this series. The team goes to space and begins counting the planets, but on their first try, they only counted 4 of them, which they reached this red planet, and decided to land on it to see if Rocket was asleep, but the team said no. And they said the only way for Rocket to fall asleep is that if they counted all 9 planets, including one dwarf one, in the solar system. But however, as they were on that planet, they began to hear something coming from atop the mountain. And the noise was, of course, a Mars rover. But not the one that I talked about earlier. But it was a different one. But that is when June noticed that a dust storm was heading their way. And the Mars rover said that they need to come up Olympus Mons just to be safe. And as mentioned before in the first episode, they got back on Rocket. He then deployed his car tracks and begins climbing up, associated with the piano track Appassionata, first movement. But here's when the team said that the storm is getting closer and the mountain is getting steeper. But Quincy knew what to do. He got out his piano and begins playing the climbing song, just to help Rocket climb even faster. And as the team says that the mountain is getting even steeper, he continues playing and playing to help rocket climb up even more faster. And at last, once they got to the top, the team and rocket were safe from that enormous dust storm. And they made it to the top of Mars's Olympus Mons. And in addition, Annie then told the Mars rover that she thanked it for warning them about the situation. So now we got this far of the story of talking about this little Einstein's episode. Since so far we talked about its original plot, its planets, its reruns, the legacy of Pluto, and even its music. But now comes this. And now, for the moment of truth, it is time to get to the big point.